And I'm delighted to say we're here with us in the studio this morning. Mo Farah, congratulations, Mo.
Oh, thank you.
How does it feel to have both those gold medals weighing you down?
It's an unbelievable feeling. Olympic doesn't come around often and comes around in your hometown. And, you know, as an athlete, you dream to become an Olympic champion. But for me, to become an Olympic champion twice is just unbelievable feeling.
I mean, you gave us some fantastic moments, and thank you. I was lucky enough to be there in the stadium last night when you were running your race, and actually I could really feel something that's very hard to get across on television. How much did that crowd help you out?
If it wasn't for a crowd, I don't think I would have been up there for sure. But you know, they make a big difference, and in front of 80,000 people just cheering your name and stadium getting louder and louder. It's the best feeling ever. It's just like being a football game.
Well, I think better than a football game, actually, for many of us. But you ran an amazing race, because had you planned the way you were going to do it? Because you kind of pulled back, and you were right in the back at the start of it.
Yeah, my aim was to just use my speed at the end, and I thought the race would be a lot faster. The guys had 3 Ethiopians, 2 Kenyans, and I thought they would have done some of the work and try and get rid of me early on. But my aim was just save as much energy as I can, work my way through, and at the end, so make sure I'm up there and just go hard on the last lap.
But you had the danger, didn't you, of that might not have gone according to plan if you had ended up being boxed in. Was there a point where you were worried about that?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't want to be boxed in. I didn't want to be sort of boxed in, but it came close getting boxed in because I was on the inside line. A lot of guys would try and come past me, but I just had to fight and stay on the inside and not let anybody come in. And that just opened up, and then down the home straight, car was getting louder and louder, and just had to dig in and dig in.
Because it was the last 2 laps, wasn't it, where you really took it away? You knew you still had it in you to do that.
Yeah, I knew you had it in me, and the crowd were getting louder, but it was a matter of sort of staying patient and, you know, just slowly wind it, and when I kick, make sure I kicked and got enough gap and holding on to it. Because, you know, Gary Mascot is a dangerous guy, and he's got a strong finish, the same as other guys.
Yeah, and are you always conscious in the middle of that race? Because it's quite a scrum, but you're always conscious where your main rivals are in relation to you?
Yeah, you're keeping an eye and see what's going on, but at the same time you try and concentrate. You're just looking at the corner of your eye, see who's there. And when you make a move, everybody was watching me, so it played in my favour. So I was dictating the race to how I want to run. So it's just an amazing feeling when you can do that.
How much have you watched it back yet? Have you
I've
had
not seen much. I've seen
this?
When I was with my family last night. So a little bit replay, but yeah, Gary Mascot was coming.
You make it look almost easy at that point, but you knew who he was gaining upon you. You couldn't let up at this point.
Yeah, I just had to not tense, and I've always been told by my coach to bring knees up and try and sprint like a sprinter rather than like a long stride, because you can just get off the ground quicker at the end.
But also, this has been the most extraordinary 8 days for you, because first you ran the 10,000 metres, then you had to, you had to run the whole of the 5,000 metres to get into the final. And, you know, some people were a little bit worried about you at the end of that, thinking, you know, maybe he's going to be a bit tired for the final.
Yeah,
were you a bit tired?
I was tired, to be honest with you. Sometimes it's harder to run the heats, so I was tired in the heats. But, you know, I kept talking about being tired, so I was hoping like the guys would do something to suit me in the race, and it worked well. But I was a bit tired, and I wasn't getting worried, because each day I had a day rest. I was just getting more fresher, and you know, if it wasn't for the medical team like Barry Frash, he's always been there, Neil Black, Dr. Paul Dexter, Rob. If it wasn't the whole medical team trying to help me recover and get in the ice bath and the rest of the stuff, I don't think I would have recovered as much. So you know, it's great to have a great team support and everybody who, you know, there to give you that bit more.
You also had the support of your family, your wife and your daughter were there.
It was beautiful to see my wife and my daughter at the track, and you know, giving them hugs is the best thing. And I was thinking about, once I had one gold medal, I was thinking my wife's having twins, so I'm gonna make sure I get the second one for the other ones. Otherwise, the other one's going to feel left out.
Because that's going to be the next big moment for you, right? You're about to become the parent of twins.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Last night I had to think about it even more. You know, you get used to being free, and then it's going to be 2 more, so 5. I'm thinking, like, when I go back to the US, I'm going to be...
Listen, I'm a parent of
5.
twins. You need to conserve your energy for what lies ahead.
Now then.
Now, what about your overall journey? Because, you know, we really did have hopes for you, but I mean, you've exceeded everything that we could possibly have imagined. But how tough has it been for you along the way? I mean, how much hard work has gone into those gold medals?
Oh yeah, it's just been a lot of hard work and grafting. To be honest with you, in Beijing 4 years ago, I didn't even make the final. So for me, it was like really disappointed. That was downtime my career at the time, and then I had to move forward and recover and get into my running again. And then last year, make a big decision to move to the US to be coached by Alberto
Move the
Salazar.
whole family?
Whole family, everyone. So that was never easy because I was at the double European champion, actually 2 years ago. So double European champion at that time. So people were thinking, Mo, why are you going away? You're a double European champion. And I said that something needed to change. And my coach, old coach, Alan Story, has done great stuff for me. And, you know, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be at that level. So I want to thank him and all my coach. But, you know, there's a decision in your career you have to make. And that was one of the hardest decisions. And I'm glad I made that decision. And it just shows you it worked. But a lot of miles have gone into these legs, and week in, week out, over 100 miles. Some weeks I'll be hitting 120 miles. So it just shows you it's hard
But there
work.
must have been many times when you've uprooted your whole family. You know, you've told your wife we need to move to the States, where you're really wondering if it's worth it.
Yeah, no, there was times where you're down, and you know, but you know, we had great help from Alberto and the Nike team up in Oregon, so it was great support. But there was times out there, you know, because I'm used to living here and grew up here, and you know, I want to see my friends and family and have a laugh and go out for coffee and go and watch a football match and on the other side of the world. So sometimes it's hard, but you know, that's what it takes. And you know, that medal, when you get that medal, it's well worth it because what you put into it, week in, week out, and been away from my family and my daughter and my wife, and that time sometimes I'm away almost 2 months. So it's not easy.
There are no shortcuts, are there?
There's no shortcuts. It's just hard work and grafting. And for all the kids out there, you know, it is possible because as a kid, for me, I love to play in football, but since then, you know, when I got into athletics, it's just been hard work and try and get better and better and just try and keep improving, and you can get there.
But of course now, anything you try and do in the future, whether it's going to be going to a football match or popping out to the supermarket, you know, you are now one of the most recognisable people in this country. You're going to be mobbed wherever you go. Do you feel that your life has changed entirely in the course of this fortnight?
Yeah, a little bit. I've got great support from everybody, and I'm just walking around, people with my autographs outside. But it's great. That's what the sports need, and you know, it's nice to have that because you know we never had a moment like this back in days. I remember Ovett, Crammy, Foster. So that was the era where them guys have broken British record, world record. So it's coming back, and I believe myself, if people can sort of do what I do, we can change that mentality. Because I think in the past for us, we always thought we can never challenge the Africans and East Africans because the Kenyan guys were just so good. But you know, we can challenge it. It's just hard work, and you know, if you learn from the best, and that's what I did.
Yeah, you've proved it, and now. You're a celebrity, and we all know about the Mobot, and that's got some really high-profile fans as well in the stadium. Let's have a look at this.
So you do the Mobot at the end. Yeah. Can you give us one, maybe in honour of Mo?
I told him I was going to do it. I told him I was going. Hold on. Yeah, boy.
That was his tribute to you.
It was awesome. As he crossed the line, broke the world record, did the Mobot, I was like, wow. It's just unbelievable. That's what the sports needs, about having laugh and, you know, at the same time, training hard and making some good sacrifices.
And what do you hope, Mo, that people will learn lessons, certainly, of hard work and perseverance from all of you. But do you hope that kids are thinking, I want to be the next Mo Farah? I
hope so too, because for me, I used to love playing football, and seeing football on TV was my thing, and I wanted to be a footballer. But now, you know, having the Olympics in London, I think it's going to change so many people's lives. People are going to get into more sports and get into running, and I hope we can change kids and the way they think, because, you know, to be Olympic champion, it just didn't come overnight. It's something I've trained so hard for. There's been up and down in my career. We've been injuries and, you know, other stuff, but you come through that, and that's what makes it more tasty. Yeah, well, yeah, must make it even more valuable and precious knowing that you've earned it in that way. Now, you mentioned Brendan Foster, and of course, he was watching you every step of the way through every one of those races, and Brendan's down at the Mall this morning because of the marathon. Brendan, what would you like to say to Mo?
I'd just like to say to Mo, it was just an absolute privilege to be there last night watching him run like that. And I remember in Beijing when he stepped off the track, not qualifying for the final, and I know he was down and I know he was beaten, but we always knew he had the ability. And then the thing about Mo is nobody's worked harder, nobody's been prepared to make more sacrifices. And I mean, when I see you next week or whenever I see you, Mo, I need your autograph now, you're my hero. No.
That's one autograph you can't forget now, though. Is that a promise? Brendan will get his autograph.
Yeah, I'll give him, as long as he sorts me out.
You'll make a bit of time for him then.
Yeah.
I would do the Mo button. I would do the Mo button.
Can you do the Mo button now?
Go on,
I'm not
Brendan.
flexible enough. How do I do it?
Come
Is
on,
that it?
Brendan.
Does he pass? Is it
Yeah,
a good
he's
robot?
fast. Yeah, he's definitely getting a couple of now.
Brendan, which was your favourite of the races, of the gold medal performances from Mo?
Well, like I said last night before we started, I said, you know, it's Saturday night at the Olympic Stadium. Every Saturday night we come here, Mo wins a gold medal. So I wonder what he's going to do next Saturday night. You know, he's probably, except he'll probably tell you he's
Arsenal
probably going to go and watch. Oh, I knew you were going to say that. You know, and the other thing, when you tell everybody that you were a good footballer, I've seen you play. You're better off in athletics than you were in football, Mo.
That was a good call, leaving
Yeah,
football.
I'll stick to
for
running.
Thank you very much, Brendan. Now, Mo, you know, going forward, I mean, were there times, actually, just think back to Beijing for a moment, you know, when you didn't get into that final, did you think, maybe this is not meant to be and maybe I should be doing something else?
Yeah, there was a times there where I thought, oh, not making the final was a big disappointment for me, and I was so down and coming back, and then the following year I was 6th, and then I was 7th for the World Championship. So for me, I was like, am I ever going to be able to mix in with these guys? I remember Bikili winning, come back to the Olympics, one double, and then again double, and I was thinking, just give me one medal as a joke. I said to my friends, but you know, at the times I wasn't training as hard, and I wasn't doing all the stuff, all the little things where you do your gym, you do the ice bath, you get recovery, you got the whole team working with you. It makes a big difference, and you know, sleeping in the afternoon, and you've got to tick all them boxes, and everything just came together for me.
But what did your coach in the US, what did Alberto Salazar do differently with you? What was it that really made the difference?
I've always had the talent and be able to sort of mix in, but I never used the right tactics. And also for me was just having 1 or 2%, you know, different, and that's been a different mentally as well as physically. And it just gave me that bit more where, you know, believe in yourself, and mentally, if you be strong, you can do it. But you know, the times I'm not running a lot quicker than what I was running before. But at the same time, I'm winning races, which is.
I also wondered, because you train with Galen Rupp, who was up against you in both those events, wasn't he? Does that help? Because all the way along, it's a bit like Bolt training with Blake. All the way along, you're reminded of who you have to beat.
No, Galen's a great friend of mine, and it's unbelievable how well we got on. We're always playing FIFA and having games and having a laugh. And in the race, our plan was early on, if the race was too slow, we're going to come to the front and stay there, and you know, we'd be 1 and 2 in the inside line. So if people want to go around us, they can go around us. So you work as a, even though he's not my teammate there, he is my teammate in the club. So you work together, and then every man to yourself to the last lap.
But does it raise your game in the training because you're constantly reminded of just how good you have to be?
No.
You just enjoy your training.
You just
with it?
enjoy it and share reps, and you know, long distance is a lonely event. So you know, you put in the miles and long run, 20 mile on a Sunday run, and you know, when you're doing like K reps and he's taking a lap, I'm taking a lap, you share the work, so it works well.
Well, now you've had 2 moments on the podium, right at the top of the podium. Fantastic moments also for everyone in the stadium who's there to watch you. What does it mean to you? Because you weren't born in this country.
No.
You've made this country your home.
It's just amazing, you know. I'm lucky as a kid, you know. I came from Somalia at the age of 8, coming to UK, and for me, this is where I grew up. This is where I went to school, uni, and this is my whole life here. But you know, to come here, and at the time, you know, you don't think that because I was at school, and in school, I was all right. Little kids running around and always hyper, and I used to just love sport. That was my thing. But to come back years later on and to be double Olympic champion, and you know, to be on the podium is the best thing, and it's just, there's no word to describe it, because all the work, all the sacrifices, all the things you put into it, it's just unbelievable.
Did you ever have a hard time when you first came to this country? Because you hardly had any English, right?
Yeah, I didn't speak a word of English, but I learned quick, because you're a kid, you pick up. I had a little bit of a hard time, but it was fine. I got through it. I was kind of the person who just loved sports and associate with sports, and athletics has helped me that.
How much did it help you, actually? Because that's probably one of the lessons that we now have to talk about, what happens after this.
It helps you a lot to be associated with other kids and other people and going to different countries. It teaches you a lot of different things. I'm lucky to travel all around the world pretty much because of my athletics. A lot of people would love to do that. And, you know, it's something we take it for granted. Yeah. And, yeah, I'm just honoured. And also, I've set up Mo Farah Foundation, which is trying to help kids and people in Africa particularly so know, because for me, as a kid, came from poverty and everything else, it's going to be a big difference. So me and my wife set up Mo Farah Foundation, and we actually got a 1st of September. We're going to have a massive auction night. It's called the Knights of Champion, and hopefully we're going to have like Steve Redgrave, a lot more Paula Radcliffe, Crammy, and a lot more.
I think
guys.
you can now guarantee a good turnout, can't you?
Hopefully, yeah, we can make a difference.
So September's going to be a big month for you, though. Isn't that also? Is it next month that the twins are going to be born?
Yeah, they're going to be hanging this around their neck.
The gold medals will be waiting for them at birth.
For sure, yeah.
But overall, obviously, clearly, Mo, you've had a fantastic Olympic Games personally. But as you look around, and these venues are about to empty until we get to the Paralympics, at least. How would you rate what's been achieved here?
Who would have thought London would be able to put this together? You have a dream and you go to other Olympics, but this is the best thing. Opening ceremony was amazing, and the amount of people just turning out. The athletics sold out every time. It was just unbelievable. People were just cheering, and who would have thought this? Because we take it for granted. Olympic doesn't come around often. It only comes around every 4 years once, and then we're having in London and the crowd and the atmosphere, and I hope we can hold on to this stadium and have a legacy. Yeah,
that's what we all hope somehow, that we can bottle this feeling and really make it last. But congratulations, Mo. It's been a privilege to speak to you this morning, and thanks for the great times that you have given us in being able to support you and see you reach the pinnacle of your success. And get some sleep in before those twins are born. That's definitely
that's it. I'm going to speak to the doctor, see if he can give sleeping tablet.
Mo Farah, double gold medalist, fantastic. Those were 2 of the 4 golds in the athletic stadium. We had 5 from Eton Dorney, we had 7 from the velodrome, we had an unexpected hat trick also at the picturesque Greenwich Park in the equestrian events.